Previously on the wacky world of MultimediaJay.
Windows XP, let's go. Do-do-do-do-dee-doo. Dun dun dun. We need to sneakernet over some motherboard drivers for Windows XP if we want to proceed. The fun part of extracting zip files in Windows XP and having to go through the wizard every single time. Nuke everything. We're up to plan C now. The things I'll do to make a 15-year-old computer quieter. I'm going to reinstall Windows XP off screen and go through the tedious phone call and come back with Windows XP activated and ready to make an image or get updated or all that other fun stuff. For now, though, we have ourselves a computer at least, and it's quieter.
The wacky world of MultimediaJay.
Night 3, and the third time is the charm. Start all programs, activate Windows is gone. Yep. That can mean one thing, and one thing only. Windows XP is activated. I used the telephone activation method in 2021. A lot of my intimidation from doing that is because they used to have live representatives many years ago, but now everything, of course, has been automated with robocall technology and stuff like that, so you basically just get an automation that walks you through all the steps, and you say you have a smartphone, it texts you a link, and then you basically punch in all the numbers. There are some folks from outside the United States who I've seen YouTube videos on who've made YouTube videos of doing this, and they've had all kinds of problems. They've had all kinds of problems with the text things. They had to do everything over the phone, but it's way easier if you just, text them and whatnot. This lamp is not going to stay. Spin, stay over there. I want to see my whole darn screen. Or I could just move everything over. That might work too. I think I might have bumped this a little with moving around the silver bullet a little. Alright, so day 3. We have Windows XP, Service Pack 2, Bone Stock. First order of business. We're going to plug in the second drive for data. And I have all kinds of stuff on the thumbstick that I keep dropping. So I hope I'm not pressing my luck here. One of them is Seagate Disk Wizard, which should work because I have Seagate hard drives in this thing. So we're going, and apparently it still works in Windows XP. So we're going to install Seagate Disk Wizard and save an image of this right after XP installation. So that way you don't have to make another tedious phone call, blah, blah, blah. If something goes wrong, we'll just re-image the system. Hey, by the way, Bone Stock XP is about 100-something watts. So, yep, back in 2005, I had a computer that was the equivalent of an incandescent light bulb. Monolith is way, way, way better than that these days. Alright, first order of business. Shut everything off. I know, that sounds like a plan, right? We're just getting going, so let's shut everything off. Something else I'm going to do, once we're done setting up all the basic utility programs and the like, I'm going to set up multiple sign-ons that represent multiple time periods with Windows XP. So there's at least going to be one for college that's going to use Luna, and then there's going to be one for post-college that uses the old Royale theme. It'll basically, I'll sign on to whatever experience I want to remember. So, we have plans for this thing. We have plans. I don't have the graphics card bolted in either. Wow, I've been really anxious to get to... okay. Since I'm a little over anxious to get this thing working the way I want it to, let's first bolt in the graphics card.
Epic fail.
The second drive is plugged in. So the idea here is we're going to save the image of the first drive to the second drive, and then we'll plug in a plug-in drive or something, maybe even directly through serial ATA and more power, in order to transfer everything off and just do it that way. So that way we have an image, we have images and whatnot. The problem with plug-in drives on this system is that it's only USB 2, so 20 megs per second. That's unless I can find some kind of FireWire drive bay somewhere out there, because I think this thing had FireWire. But we shouldn't have to resort to going all the way back to FireWire in order to do a backup image. Especially when it's this easy to just spin the case around, pop the side off, and then plug in a drive to an extra pair of serial ATA cables. Just have to make sure we format it as something that XP can see and can hot swap. Yeah, you know, it's a chore, but it's the way we gotta do things with this obsolete operating system. I think I've downloaded enough drivers in the whole 9 yards, actually, to not even need to hook it up to the internet. We'll just use it like an old game console or something. So, not like any of the games I'd want to play on this XP machine still have online components anyways, Battlefield 1942 included. Yeah, this thing's not in that bad a shape, except for the oxidation on the motherboard and the graphics. No, oxidation on the back of the case and the graphics card and all this other stuff. But the thing with the coax down here is actually my original capture card. WinFast TV 2000 PVR something. Graphics card is a DVI jack and stuff like that. I got an XFi card down there, but since I don't really use sound cards anymore, I could probably just disable these devices or remove them from the system. I just don't know if I have enough of these like drive cover thingies yet. I'd like to at least clean things up in that respect, but the capture card probably still works. It only does S-video, so yep. This is the capture card, the TV card actually, that I used to hook up to the campus cable and use the Silver Bullet as a DVR back in college, recording stuff on the hard drive. There was even Titan TV, so I had clickable listings that I could click to record and stuff like that. I don't even think modern DVRs do that. You have to do everything with the remote control. Alright, let's turn the machine back on and get an image file ready. The sooner we get this going, the sooner we can install Morrowind. Alrighty. Windows XP, baby. And actually having to wait for the computer to start. Single core, Enforce 4, DDR400, and Windows XP. Of course, Windows XP was always quick to boot before you loaded it down with programs. I could theoretically break the immersion a bit and put an SSD in this thing if I really wanted to, but I think the genuine, authentic experience of retro computing from this era is mechanical drives only. And even the mechanical drives that are in this thing are newer and faster than what I had in the days when this machine was current. So, oh yeah, here we go. Windows XP startup. We may not need to put this thing on the internet at all. Alright, let's get ready to install Seagate Disk Wizard and take an image of the fresh install of Windows XP. So if we have to blow everything away, we're not starting from scratch. Wow, I remembered! It's in a different place than it is on modern computers nowadays. Yeah, control panel, administrative tools, system management or computer management, and disk management is now under here. So there's our second drive that's completely unpartitioned. Let's format that NTFS, primary, and this is going to be the data drive, so we're going to make it drive H. We had data drive, so we're going to make it drive H. We actually could be a games drive. We should do drive K. Yeah, I know D is always. Let's set it to drive K because it's primarily going to be for games. So yeah, let's see here. Sign the following drive letter. Let's go. NTFS. We shall have a games drive. See if there's any improvement whatsoever. Let's see if there's any improvement whatsoever when you install games on a separate mechanical hard drive. Go. Oh, that was quick. Formatting, games drive. There we go. And that's where we're going to save the image to. Alright. Let's set everything up. Alright, this is supposed to be the last version of Seagate Disk Wizard that would actually work with Windows XP. C. Uh-oh. Double clicks that do nothing. Haven't had this in a long time. Let's try restarting the machine then. Old Windows XP bugs. Let me guess, it's not going to restart right, correct? It's going to keep saying Windows is shutting down forever and ever. Okay, here we go. I copied everything over, but it was glitching out with the thumbstick. It probably was going to pop a delayed write failed error. I used to get those back in the day. They never really mattered, except, hey, defrag and check for errors next time I plug the thumbstick in. Oh no, the sad part is the thumbstick might act, well, it's USB 2, but the thumbstick, if it were properly hooked up via USB 3, would probably be faster than some of the drives that this thing used to have in it. Alright, let's see if we can get Seagate Disk Wizard to install and then take an image of the drive before we start messing around with everything. Showing my age, man. It has been so long since I did things Windows XP style that here I am trying to install Seagate Disk Wizard in Windows like a moron. I used to always use it on a bootable CD so I could restore stuff and whatnot. And the fun part is, I can actually make the CD on Monolith in a Windows 10 environment, and is it really going to matter if I'm just copying an NTFS drive? I'm trying to make things a little too retro here.
Epic fail.
Yeah, let's do things the old-fashioned way and restart the computer and see if it should boot off the CD first before it boots off of the hard drive. Because it was trying to boot off the CD earlier. But, well, it gives me another use for one of those reusable DVDs that I have never found a use for in the past 7 or 8 years. Come on, you slow-booting computer. Boot off the CD. Come on. This is like the Adelosaurus videos of old. I'm wondering if this is going to be the next big series, like Windows 10 versus the Adelosaurus. And at this time we know it's not a goofball project thingy right here. Press key to boot from CD. Yes, please boot. Come on. What the? Windows 10? Is that how it works? Oh boy, this might take a while then if it's trying to load Windows 10 with 2 gigs of RAM. I probably should have used the Windows 7 burnable CD thing.
Epic fail.
Oh, what have I gotten myself into? Well, we'll just leave it here for now and see if it ever loads. Single core processor, 2 gigs of RAM, loading Seagate Disk Wizard off of recovery media for Windows 10 on a motherboard from 2005. This could take a while. Crash! Did not load. Okay. Alright, let's try the Windows 7 version. I'm totally going to use up... And that's the furthest back that it goes. So, yeah, let's try the Windows 7 version of Seagate Disk Wizard. What have I done?
Epic fail.
Try number 2. Took a while, but I have this reburned with the Windows 7 32-bit version of that program instead of Windows 10 64. It defaulted to the settings for Monolith, which is an i7 6700K with 24 gigs of RAM, and this thing has an Athlon 64 4000, yeah, right there on the screen, and 2 gigs of RAM. Needless to say, that's one heck of an apples and oranges comparison. Alright, let's see if this one boots. I used to do this in Windows XP all the time. I think just dropping down to 32-bit should help with this sort of thing, though. But, Windows 7? Come on now. Press any key to boot off a CD? Come on. Well, this is my 2005 system, so it might take a while. Here it goes. Interestingly enough, there it goes. That looks like Windows 7. Yeah, okay, this is more promising than the Windows 10 version. Or maybe it's because it's 32-bit, so lower system requirements. Welcome to Windows 7. Whatever. Or Vista, if you want to be a, glass half empty kind of person. Alright, in the time it takes for this thing to load on this single core processor, I could probably go have a sandwich or something. Not enough bread for sandwiches, so let's go with some fish fillets and Pellegrinos. Alright, so what do we have with this? I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to eat while this is backing up with only a single core processor. Let's see, backup. I want to make an image. Oh yeah, of course. Partitions to backup. Yeah, the C drive. Yep. It's only got 3 gigs used, so it shouldn't be too big. Partition, create a new archive, and backup location is going to be on the other drive, the games drive. Click under disk images, and then we shall call this Fresh XP install. Fresh XP install.tib, and then when we play around with other stuff, then we'll just have that. So this is basically completely offline Fresh XP. Go! Alright, Fresh XP install. I've tossed around the idea of putting a drive in here, but leaving it unplugged, so you can basically back up images to it and then just have the drive unplugged and plug it back in when we have to restore something. Alright, let's see here. Well, here it goes. Don't know how long this is going to take with a single core processor, so probably plenty of time to eat while it's running, even though it's only 3 gigs. Time left. 7 minutes. 6 minutes. Maybe not so. Oh, I'm about to be embarrassed, aren't I? Yeah, well, so much for that idea.
Epic fail.
Well, it was great to have some supper, but anyways. So, the issue I have here is only 694 megs. It's a bit small. I wonder if I should do a sector-by-sector backup. I want to be able to completely restore the disk and overwrite everything that's there. I think what's going on here with this backup is that it's proprietary in terms of how it organizes everything, so you need to run the recovery environment in order to bring it back. So, I don't know, I am looking for images and stuff. I remember Acronis used to work that way. We'd make images of disks and stuff. You could do sector by sector, but we'll see what happens. I mean, this isn't a full-blown system or anything along those lines in terms of how seriously I'm going to use it. Downright. So we have a couple options available without going online. I think I'm going to do Windows XP's Windows XP's unofficial, almost said universal, unofficial Service Pack 4, which will update this to Windows XP Service Pack 3, plus just about every Windows update prior to Windows going end of life. So I think this will be a good way to kind of like skip to step 3 or whatever it is. So let's install this, hopefully it doesn't take too long, and then we'll see what we can do in terms of software afterwards. We'll get the basics going, like graphics drivers and things along those lines. Just all the stuff that I wanted to install on it last night. But of course, we need a way to back everything up and stuff along those lines. So we'll do basic Windows setups first before we go splitting everything out into the college and post-college logons, and also go get the Port Royale. Go get the Royale theme as well for the post-college logon. Then we can start looking at things like what games to install on this thing. Keep in mind, there was no Windows XP Service Pack 4, only Service Pack 3. This is just kind of a naming convention thing for an unofficial compilation of patches that came out after Service Pack 3. So, yeah, I mean, video games get this too. You'll get the official patches, then an unofficial patch. I'm just looking to save a few steps here. Plus, I believe there's a couple more years of updates you'll get because of the POS side of it. So, the version of Windows XP that was made for cash registers and stuff in commercial use stayed in service for longer. So, well, let's not archive the files. We have a backup in case something goes dreadfully wrong. Probably going to want to downgrade to Internet Explorer 6, though. There's a couple of HTML files I want to put on this thing that, run better that way. Oh yeah, we also got to install Office 2000. Well, that was quicker than I thought, considering the hardware that's involved. Alright, that takes care of the unofficial service pack. That should take care of a whole lot of stuff. The Internet Explorer has already been updated to Internet Explorer 8. I think we can drop it back down to 6 afterwards. We'll have to figure it out. So I went looking for... It's got to restart, right? Well, it'll take its time because it's single core. It's supposed to be an automatic restart. Here it goes. There we go. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I have installers for security software and graphics drivers and all kinds of other stuff. We'll finish up the night by getting that done. We're also going to put Office 2000 on there, Yes, Office 2000, not Office XP. When I was in college, I was kind of spooked by the activation system and whatnot when Windows XP came out. I put up with it for XP, but I ran Office 2000 into the ground. So, the reason why I want to reinstall Office 2000 is so we can have, you know, Clippy, the cat, the dog, the Microsoft Agent characters, and of course, since we're doing Microsoft Agent stuff, CyberBuddy, the non-spyware answer to BonziBuddy, offered many of the same services but didn't turn into a sketchy program later on. So this thing was basically my digital assistant before things like the Amazon and Google speakers of today. So talking robot would be like, "Hello Jason, today's date is blah 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 blah," and stuff along those lines. It would tell the time, get the news, get the weather, all kinds of other stuff. We will put security software on here as well. I don't really think we gain much by putting this thing on the internet. I think I'd be better off just doing... Oh, here we go. Oh, so there is... I thought it was a little too quick. Yeah, there's this whole side to it as well, similar to when we were installing. So, yeah, okay, we'll get that done then. And then that should be it for the Windows updates. We could always see if we get more after we get some security software installed. This came out before whatever that security thing was that Microsoft made an XP patch for earlier. So, that's not too bad. Alright, let's get to work on graphics drivers, MS Office, and CyberBuddy. And when this thing's saying hello to me with Robbie the talking robot, then we'll call it a morning. What? Are you kidding me? It couldn't even play the full Windows 95 startup sound? What the? Seriously? Right then. Well, we'll install Office 2000 then.
Epic fail.
Now for one of the things I haven't seen in a very long time. How much do you want to run from the computer and how much do you want to run from the CD? You better have 357 megabytes free. What is this, 1994? Another installation is in progress. Retry. Well, at least you got to hear the nice piano sound. Ha! Interesting. So what's not working? Cancel. Okay, I guess we'll restart again. Try number 2 after a restart. I don't know why it would say there's another install already in progress. Unless there's something in Service Pack 4 that keeps this from working and we gotta do it the old-fashioned way. You can go to Service Pack 3 and then use Windows Update, and then max out the updates, and then do the registry thing that gets the other stuff. Now that's more like it. Let's see if it'll actually work this time. We're basically seeing what it used to mean to redo your computer from scratch. Oh, this time it took. Okay, we'll do a restart then before we install Disk 2 then. Yeah, ready? Some good old-fashioned CD-ROM noise. Newer optical drives, though, don't have the kind of, like, jet sound to them that the old ones did. It's one of the reasons why I originally bought a case with a door, to try and muffle some of that sound, but that's actually hollow in the middle anyway, so... Alright, it looks like we're gonna get Office 2000 this time. Yep, and this, folks, no matter how tedious and dull these videos may be, this is what, except for, you know, the stuff that's specific to this being a retro computer project, this is what you had to go through every time your hard drive crashed. Every time you had to redo your computer from scratch, this is what you had to go through every single time. It was tedious and annoying. I used to have a stack of CDs to reinstall all my games on top of the basic programs I was using. That would almost be as tall as the computer because I had so many games I wanted to install. And I didn't think like a Steam person nowadays and just install only what I needed. I wanted my whole library available and I needed a huge hard drive in order to do it. So it's just, I'll tell you, man. As much as there's nostalgia for the Windows XP era, there was a lot about that time in computing history that was just rubbish. Compared to... Oh, there it goes. Finally! But yeah. See, the door doesn't muffle the sound all that much. But, yeah, so... There are some things that were just blah back then, as opposed to today where, you know, you register your device in the cloud and Windows 10 reinstalls and you got accounts for all your software, so you just leave the computer downloading at whatever you want to use overnight. Simple enough. It's a much simpler and easier process to recover from a modern Windows reset than it was back in the XP days to redo your machine from scratch. Hence my use of backup software with Seagate Disk Wizard. It's gonna be a must for this machine. Now, what can I do while this is installing? Of course, the progress bar finally starts moving after I shut the camera off. Whatever.
Epic fail.
Office 2000 professional setup completed successfully. Outlook, no thanks. This was the version of Microsoft Outlook that was vulnerable to the NIMDA virus. I lost a few folders to NIMDA back in like 2001 or something like that in Windows 2000. Can you tell I've got some, a grudge? I don't know. Alright, let's do disk number 2. I cut it off that time. But anyways, Office 2000 disk 2. Is it going to install or do I have to restart the computer? Microsoft Publisher. Oh man, I made some stuff in that once upon a time. It was actually a form for the AV office that I made in that for signing out equipment. Is it gonna take from the... Yep, I see activity on the drive. So whatever that other install was earlier, I don't know. Properties. Do I have... wait a minute. No, I still don't have any graphics drivers. And no support for widescreen either. So while Office continues to install, let's head back over to Monolith a bit and just talk about the legacy. This chair is getting so creaky in its old age. Let's talk about the legacy of the Silver Bullet and everything. So I've had quick launch bars across the bottom of my screen for decades at this point. Not unlike the launcher in Mac OS. So there's always some kind of quick launch thing down here. So all my favorite programs are all along the bottom. So this is something I started doing actually back on Windows 2000, but there was definitely a lot of this going on Windows XP. Also, of course, having the start menu drop down like that and things along those lines. Something else I did. Also, the lack of animation. So you didn't have to see the animation every single time. You could be a little bit quicker. You know, I was known as the mad clicker for the longest time when I was an IT support specialist back in the day. So, because how quickly I'd click through things. And that's because I was using IntelliMouse Explorer mice at home, and I was just could be like click, 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 click. And of course I didn't wait for animation. So it's cool to see things fade into view, slide into view, or pop open or something like that. But, you know, eventually it just gets old and you realize you're just losing time to this sort of stuff. So anyways, let's let Monolith keep chilling over here and let's go see how the Silver Bullet is doing. Finished! Okay, let's fire some things up here. Let's go to Microsoft Word. Yeah, of all things to run on this thing for the first time, we had to start in Word, don't we? We'll go to PowerPoint just for fun. Ready? Microsoft Word, new programs installed. You think? Oh, that's right, I have to sort by name a lot in here too, so... Look at all these old icons. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, Outlook, MS Publisher. Back in the day. Let's just go straight into Microsoft Word. Word 2000. There it is. You barely even saw it as it opened because the drives even today, more recent drives are faster than the drives I originally ran this on. Ultra ATA 133, I think, back in the day. Parallel ATA drives. And there, right on cue. Right on cue. Clip It, aka Clippy. Remember this guy? Start using Word. All right, ready? Let's do what he was known for back in the day. Dear sir or madame. Oh, there we go. Word can complete things you frequently type. Just press enter. Dear sir or madame. Hey, it looks like you're writing a letter. get help with writing the letter, or just type the letter without help. We couldn't see Clippy come back without making him do that at least once. Animate! He just looks over. Keep animating. Yep, and you just imagine me toying around with this and I'm trying to do my college work. Yeah, 4 years of this stuff. Except I didn't actually use Clippy. I didn't use Clip It. Let's look at some of the other folks here. Never used Clip It. I mean, he was just got too generic after a while. The bouncing ball, robot, Einstein. This was cool, actually, because it reminded me of something from Tron or something. Yeah, look at that. And it's like a game of Simon, basically. Yeah. Animate. Vintage. Alright, choose assistant. I didn't actually use this. It was fun for a while, but the Planet Earth thing was pretty cool. Yeah, here's what I always used. Either the cat or the dog. Mostly the dog. But we'll just have the cat come up here. And just about everybody I knew had the cat or the dog. Yeah, nobody. Everybody is annoyed with Clippy, but I don't think I knew anybody who used Clippy. They always went to the cat or the dog. Come on, meow at least once. Looks over to the side. Come on! Well, one way to do that is to try and close... Alright, we'll make the cat meow by closing without saving. Or not! Oh, there we go. That was always cute. That was probably the cutest animation this character ever had. Alright. I was always a big fan of the dog, though. Yeah, I always had the dog. The dog was always cool. Obviously modeled after a golden retriever. That was an idle animation too, so, you know, the dog would just lie down if you weren't doing anything for a while. And that's if you saved. Look around. Still cute after all these years. Getting tired from holding the camera. What am I doing? I have a spider tripod. And that's if you sent an email. Vintage. That's if you printed something. Come on, bark at least once. Everything's so random. Alright, switch hands. Using the wrong hand on the mouse now. Really? I know he barks, so... There we go. Yeah, the dog was always cute. Alright, but these characters didn't talk. There were characters with speech built in, and we're going to install them. CyberBuddy by John DeFino. It's a very faded install disc, burnable CD from the early 2000s, but I liked the program so much. There we go. I liked the program so much that I wound up buying, this is one of the few pieces of shareware that I ever bought the full version of, because it was just that useful for me. Although some of my roommates hated it. Think like, you know, the kind of people who now in today's world would be annoyed by a smart speaker. Oh yes, there was a historical precedent for that. Remember when CD-ROMs were blue on the bottom? The silver bullet remembers. There it is, CyberBuddy Standard Edition, which was CyberBuddy with speech recognition. CyberBuddy Full Function, plus telephone functions. If you have a proper modem installed and have Windows TAPI installed, you can use this CyberBuddy version to dial a phone by asking for a friend from the internal phone book. So yeah, you're talking to a computer, much like you would talk to your Google Assistant on your smartphone nowadays. Let's see, this version will not work on all systems. Well, let's find out if it works on this one. Requires special modem. Actually, no, we're not. Let's do the one with speech input. There we go. I might actually hook a microphone up to this thing someday. Alright, here we go. TVNU, I remember that. This runs off of Microsoft Agent and text-to-speech circa the early 2000s. There used to be something called the CyberBuddy Story Builder that could actually... there used to be something called the CyberBuddy Story Builder, and what you could do with that is you could actually program the agent characters to move around the screen and tell a story. Kind of like a distant ancestor of Plotagon. Yeah, that's right, you folks. You didn't seriously think that cartoon software I used earlier, I just used out of the blue, right? No way. I just wanted to, microphone test. Doesn't have sound capability. Blah, blah, blah. Well, we can always set that up later. Here we go. CyberBuddy setup. Let's look at this vintage installer. It's already turning off Windows Luna, because this was a Windows 2000 era program. Yeah, here we go. Remember when every installer had a picture of a computer, some CDs, and a globe? Oh, look at this. This is John M. DeFino, the author, gives you the right to use the software program, blah, 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 blah. And there was an intro that actually, told it to the guy and whatnot. Here, ready? Creating icons. That is so fast, despite it being a mechanical drive. Of course, we're using early serial ATA for the drives. So, launch program file, unblock all features Windows Firewall. What shall I call you? We're going to go full name for this one, because that's what you called me in college. Zing! Done. Alright, down at the bottom, should get Merlin with the voice in about a second or two. Volume's up. Alright, where's the character? The genie.
Good morning, Jason. The date is Tuesday, August 3rd. You are looking well.
Well, that's completely wrong. Oh, here we go.
Hello, Jason. I see you have just installed or upgraded CyberBuddy. Be sure to check the tour of the program and online tutorials. There are also help buttons throughout the program. In the meantime, CyberBuddy will be in the system tray. Just click the icon to bring up the program. Don't forget to check the CyberBuddy homepage for updates and any questions. Bye for now. Yep.
I think I used to have the bird for the internet speed or something like that. Yeah, back in the day. So it's telling me the tie-in of every 15 minutes. Check for news, check for weather, character and speech options. Let's go with... I only have these... I went on a downloading spree of MS Agent characters back in the day. So I have tons of characters. They're still in a folder on the data drive over on Monolith. Can bring them over. For now, we're going to go with Robbie the robot.
Hello, Jason. I'm Robbie. Hello, Jason. I'm Robbie.
Yep, there we go. Done. And Microsoft Agent.
War.
Just click, drag, da da da. Same technology as BonziBuddy, but it wasn't spyware.
I don't like this.
Yeah, whatever. Watch this.
I can't help you as I am not here. Oh, thank you. I see it is 5:29 a.m.
Yeah, I should probably call it a morning then. We should probably fix the date, though. You know what? Since we have everything working here, let's close this down.
Do I really have to go? Bye.
Let's do a first boot. Let's do a first boot with CyberBuddy and the whole 9 yards, and you'll basically see how everything used to work for me. Of course, you just saw some of that anyways, but just for fun. Okay, so imagine it's a dorm room, and I'm trying to not get distracted into playing Morrowind, and I gotta actually study. Here is the Silver Bullet experience-ish. We're missing that thing there, but... Alright, time to get some work done. Study, poke around on the internet, whatever. Except not maybe with, not with this processor. Something slower, actually. And no serial ATA. And no fan controller except buying it aftermarket like this. Yeah, I can be nostalgic all I want. But truly, you know, the era of space heater... space heater computers, the space year 2000 to 2005, blah, blah, blah. You know. Alright, so you go through a big list of things, because I would never turn on the full screen logo. Windows XP, man! And because I was an idiot who had absolutely no concept whatsoever of logon passwords, I would just have it bounce straight on through to the desktop. It was kind of an honor system in the dorms that nobody would ever turn on your computer when you weren't there. I don't think anybody had a password. We were all raised on Windows 95, 98, so, you know, hitting escape to get into the computer. So you start up, Windows might gripe at you about a few things if there's Windows updates or something. The drive would do some things, and then this guy. Come on, where is he?
Good morning, Jason. Today is Tuesday, August 3rd. Thanks for calling me.
Except he would usually say good evening instead, because I was very nocturnal. Kind of like the way I am now. Yeah, I was night shift before I was night shift. Turn off computer. There we go. Okay, I'm actually going to get some sleep for a change. Although in college I usually got about 5 hours sleep most days, and I got through the days on Diet Coke with lemon. What I do miss, though, is hard drives don't click when the machine turns off like they used to. And if I can find, like, a refurbished zip drive, even though I don't have any zip disks, before flash media became... What the heck is this discoloration? No way a mouse got in here and took a dump on my computer, I hope. But, yeah, so... Floppy drive... We need a cable in order for this to start going doo-doo every time we start the machine up. That's part of the vintage experience. But if I could get a zip drive in here again, if there was ever one made for serial ATA, that would complete the look. The only one I ever had that I junked during the Great Sift was parallel ATA. It was IDE. So either way. So the evening and the morning were the third day. And we've got some basic software going. I think I'm going to get to work on... Yeah, before we can't install any games on this thing without Morrowind being one of them. So I'm going to get to work on seeing if I can find my CD version of Morrowind if I still have it. Otherwise, we have Oblivion, Battlefield 1942. We can start setting up the logons and stuff. And we're almost out of space on the camera. I haven't done this in a long time. I actually have to empty out the space now from all the footage I've been recording. Well, folks, this has been 3 videos of this stuff. Hope you like them, because it's totally a blast from the past and a nostalgia fest with that mouse. This is MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by. We'll be back to install some games if I can find my old version of Morrowind somewhere.